What's happening? What's happening? YouTube, what's happening? It's your boy Don Sack. I'm new to this little YouTube thing, and I'm just finna pop my stuff off. You know, if y'all like it, hit that like button. It don't cost a dime to subscribe. So I hear everybody talking about their county jail stories, the things that they experience, and just be elaborating on their stories. So I felt like, I done experienced some things in the county jail, and I feel like I can share them with you guys. So I'm finna just get straight off into it about a county jail story uh, that happened. One of my first or two experiences in the county, and we was up in MCJ, man, Men's Central Jail downtown, man, and it was kind of like the intake part, where they, give you your blues, where you go through the medical before you go upstairs and get housed. Actually, before you go, sit in another cell upstairs to get housed. But we downstairs in the cells, people getting called to see the doctor and whatnot. And this particular time, I remember, man, it's like I think it was like 5 or 6 in the evening, man. It was like, around dinner time or something, and it was a lot of dudes in the cell, man, and we in there, we in there, niggas in there banging, niggas in there talking loud, niggas in there bagging on niggas, just the whole nine. It was cracking, man. It was cracking in there. It was going up, and it was it was hella rowdy. It was really rowdy up in there that day, man, and it's a couple squabbles had broke off in there. A couple people had to get their issues in that cell. And, as people getting called out, more people is coming in from the streets, or coming in from getting their blues, or already done seen the doctor. And so I remember a conversation, man. This like back in I think this like was in 03, man, and I remember a conversation that was being held by some of my peers in there, man, and we was talking about 50 Cent, man, because 50 was hot back then. 50 was like the number one artist that was hot back then, man, and in 03. So I remember the conversation was about 50, man, and that Get Rich or Die Trying album. So I remember this one deputy, man. He was kind of like, kept fucking with us, closing the door and telling us to keep it down. And niggas in jail, niggas wasn't abiding by none of that shit, wasn't hearing that shit, wasn't listening to him. So he would come close the door, but the door would get back open because people steadily getting called to see the medical doctor. So him closing that door didn't really do nothing for the ruckus that we was causing. So remind you, man, it's like, man, I say it's about 100 motherfuckers in this cell, man. Probably like 80, I'm exaggerating a little bit. There's probably 80 motherfuckers in there. And I remember the conversation was about 50, man, and we talking loud, we talking shit. You know what I'm saying? And dude come back again, man, telling motherfuckers, warning motherfuckers, like, man, y'all need to be quiet, or you know, it's gonna be some kind of consequences behind motherfuckers not listening and all that old type of shit. So, the third time he came back, man, like I say, out of 80 motherfuckers in the cell, man, this motherfucker decides to pinpoint me out of all these motherfuckers in the cell, man. He decides to call me out, man, like I'm some kind of ringleader or some kind of motherfucker running this show, man. I'm in there clowning just like the rest of these niggas, laughing. We in this motherfucker. This nigga calls me out. Hey, you, step out, you. I'm like, me? He like, yeah, you, come here. Remind you, he's a little short deputy with a little short man's complex. This motherfucker say, hey, you, come here. Hey, man, you harder hearing, huh? I'm like, man, what you talking about, man, motherfucker? Cuff me and start escorting me like up the little ramp and shit. So he take a nigga to another cell and cuff my fucking two hands in between my legs, so I can't, like, when you cuff like that, you can't lay down or nothing. You just be up. You just, you know, if you ever been cuffed, like cuffed to a steel bench. So he did that, man. I'm like, man, what's up with all this, man? Why you? And shit, he left out the cell, left me in there. I'm like, man, this nigga on some bullshit. So, like I say, it was like 5:30, 6 o'clock when he did that bullshit. And when he came to get me, because when you in the intake, they got little TVs and shit like that for us, like when we waiting to see the medical doctor, so you can actually see what time it is then. So he came back, man, I say like hours later, man. It probably was like 10:30, 11 o'clock, going on 12, and he came in there and said, man, you know, you gonna behave now? You gonna listen? I'm like, yeah, man, all that. I'm gonna do all that. So shit, he, you know, uncuffed me and shit and took me back to the cell that he got me from, because I hadn't seen the doctor yet. And when he took me back, man, motherfucking Jay Leno was on, man. I looked at the TV. Jay Leno was on. So I'm like, damn, man, this motherfucker had a nigga hog-tied for like 5 hours on some bullshit and made an example out of me, out of 80 motherfuckers in here doing the same thing I'm doing. So, man, that was one of my first experiences in that LA County jail, man, the zoo. I'm out.